Hey guys, it's Michael. Welcome back to Michael in the Morning. Today is Friday, October 30th, 2020, and this is your second stimulus check and second stimulus package update. We have a lot of very important news to go over because yesterday on Thursday, discussions between House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Treasury Secretary Mnuchin took a turn for the worse and took on a decidedly less cordial tone as the Trump administration's top negotiator, Mnuchin, accused Nancy Pelosi of miscasting the state of talks on the second stimulus bill just days before the election. So in today's video, we're first going to go over how Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi sent a letter to Mnuchin demanding a response on a number of issues in the second stimulus bill. After that, we're going to go over how Treasury Secretary Mnuchin responded to Nancy Pelosi, and he was not happy at all. He explained her all-or-nothing approach, and he also said he didn't even see her letter until it was released in the press. And he says that isn't how he should see it in the first place. And finally, at the end, we're going to go over another letter and response from Nancy Pelosi's spokesperson, Drew Hamil, and how he responded to Mnuchin's letter as well. So we have all three responses to go over in today's video. And if you enjoy this sort of content, well then please be sure to like the video down below and subscribe to my channel. It currently says about 50% of you watching are not subscribed. So if you aren't already, be sure to subscribe to my channel. So, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi sent a letter to Treasury Secretary Mnuchin demanding a response on the Democrats' latest offer on the second stimulus bill and warned that if he fails to act quickly, it'll only worsen the health and economic fallout from the pandemic as the virus surges around the country. She told Mnuchin that she is still waiting on his response on a number of issues like a national testing strategy, state and local government relief, enhanced unemployment benefits, childcare, tax credits, liability protections for small businesses, and workplace safety standards. In the letter, Pelosi tells Mnuchin how while lawmakers will not send relief before the election, she still wants to continue discussions right now so that after the country votes, they can get a bill passed quickly. And she said how Mnuchin's responses are critical for negotiations to continue and for them to be able to come to an agreement quickly after the election. So ultimately, she called out White House administration and the president, saying that the president's words that he said the other day, where he said, after the election, we'll get the best stimulus package you have ever seen, only have meaning if President Trump can get Mitch McConnell and other Republican senators to take his hand off the pause button and get Senate Republican chairmen moving toward an agreement with their House counterparts. He said it's only good if the Republicans in the Senate will go ahead and vote yes for it. And right now, a lot of them are saying they don't want to pass a large bill, so she said he needs to be able to do that. Next up is Mnuchin responded to Nancy Pelosi's letter later in the day on Thursday and expressed his dissatisfaction with how Nancy Pelosi is handling second stimulus bill negotiations. Mnuchin came out and said that the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, sent the letter to his office on midnight on Thursday and simultaneously released this letter to the press, so he can unfortunately only conclude that it was a political stunt. He said that he learned about the letter that he received from Nancy Pelosi by reading about it in the press in the morning, and that is not what should happen. That doesn't seem like a serious negotiation. That seems like a political tactic. Treasury Secretary wrote that he has dedicated endless hours to these stimulus negotiations and reaching a compromise with Nancy Pelosi, but he argued that she has not made the same effort in finding common ground right now. He goes on to explain that while Nancy Pelosi said he didn't accept the Democrats' offer, Mnuchin said the White House actually did accept the Democrats' proposal on virus testing and offered a reasonable compromise on a number of positions on the other topics in the bill. But he said Nancy Pelosi didn't want to accept that and that her all-or-nothing approach is hurting hardworking Americans who need help now. He said that she proposed the bill, he accepted it with a couple of tweaks and changes to it, but ultimately she only wants exactly what she wrote or nothing at all. And finally, on top of this back and forth between Nancy Pelosi and Treasury Secretary Mnuchin, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's spokesperson, Drew Hamil, came out later in the day after the back and forth between both Mnuchin and Pelosi and responded to Mnuchin's letter insisting that the White House has not lived up to Secretary of Treasury Mnuchin's promise to accept Democrats' language to crush the virus. He said Democrats were still awaiting meaningful responses on the topics Nancy Pelosi spoke about in her letter earlier in the day, and that these responses are needed so that talks can advance to deliver a second stimulus bill and more relief to hard-working Americans as soon as possible. Hamil goes on to say that it is disappointing that the White House wasted time on this letter to send to Nancy Pelosi instead of having a meaningful response to meet the needs of the American people right now. Ultimately, Nancy Pelosi told reporters on Thursday that the CARES Act relief bill passed earlier this year deserves credit for injecting resources into the economy and did a lot to help the economy. But she added that if we don't pass another bill soon, if they don't continue negotiations so they can get a bill passed quickly after the election, they'll face dire circumstances as well. And Nancy Pelosi also goes on to speak about the timeline of the second stimulus bill, and she said that she still hopes to strike a stimulus agreement before the winners of next week's presidential and congressional elections take office in January. She said even if President Trump wins or Biden wins, whoever wins, she still wants to be able to get a bill passed before they are inaugurated in January. So anyways, that's what's going on with the second stimulus check and second stimulus package as of Friday, October 30th, 2020. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to get your 2 free stocks valued up to $1,600 when you download the Webull investing app using the link down below. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.